So there's a couple other points that I want to make. So yeah, in the card, the Big Ben there's the Big Ben, which could signify that this mixture of disasters are gonna start in London, or maybe most of them are gonna be in London. But also, I came across this news article. Where I didn't know this, but I didn't know this, but supposedly the Olympic Stadium is built in an ex-nuclear site. It was an ex-nuclear site. I didn't know this, but the actual newspaper reported this. And again, I was shocked to see this. And another thing was that 1 year before the 7/7 bombings, 1 year before, I think it was around May. Can't remember when I saw that program. I think it was around May. Or yeah, that of the 7/7 bombings. The BBC Panorama actually showed a program of that featured an exercise imagining what a terrorist attack on underground trains, on what 3 underground trains and 1 road vehicle would look like. So 1 year before the attacks, the actual BBC had an actual program showing what it would be like if terrorists were to attack 3 trains and 1 road vehicle. And what got me more worried was that in 2008, I remember the BBC showing a program of, I think it's called Scoops or something like that, Spooks, something like, of what it would be like if terrorists were to attack the Olympic Stadium of 2000.
Over 100,000 incinerated and many more given a death sentence by radiation. For some people outside of the blast zone, life continued almost as normal. But after the attack, nothing in our country would ever be the same again.
British authorities have commenced operations to soon the mass evacuation of London and surrounding areas. Relocation centres have been set up by the government in the north of England for all those made homeless after the attack. From its temporary base in Manchester, the government have introduced controversial new security measures, as well as ordering a complete restructure of the security services.
2012. So I hope, I don't know, I see a repetition there. But again, I hope I'm wrong. But I'm just putting this information out for you again. Obviously, you guys need to go and research yourself. I'm still researching this. But we need to research it and put it out as much as we can, even if we're wrong, because who knows? It's better safe. It's that saying, it's better safe than sorry, right? So yeah, the actual BBC had a program on this, and that's what shocked me. Okay, let me see other points that I've made. All right, so my final thing was, I was in the internet. I was on YouTube, just literally going through YouTube, and accidentally came across this whistleblower he was a reporter who actually went infiltrated security in the Olympics. He actually wanted to become a security, but for the purpose of getting information. And he said that the security at the Olympics was terrible, how there's a lot of holes and there's not enough security. Basically it's ineffective. The security guys don't know what they're doing. The metal detectors, they're not working and stuff like that. But what most shocked me was that he said that during his training, one of the instructors said to them that this training will help them because they will be involved in the evacuation of London. So this really shocked me, because in order for London to be evacuated, or for people to have to be evacuated from London, it has to be a massive attack. It can't be a small attack. It has to be a massive attack. And I've been thinking, and I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just want to emphasize that I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that some of the dots have connected, show the possibility that it can happen, that it might happen. So what I've been thinking is, the elite, they staged 9/11. They staged the Pentagon and the 7/7 bombing. And the thing is, I don't know if you've noticed, but lately people are starting to awake. I talk to more and more people, and they're starting to question everything. When you talk about 9/11, they're like, yeah, and they'll give you the facts. And people are starting to wake up and see who the enemy is. So people are starting to wake up and see who the enemy is. So what I've been thinking is that they need to, in order to get credibility again, they need to make something huge. It can't be it has to be bigger than 9/11. It has to be huge. And so I hope nothing happens, but this is worrying. And yeah, so that's what I've been thinking. But the reason I started searching into this, well, first I'm going to show you a clip of the actual whistleblower, the person. I think his name was Ben Fellow, something like that. Ben, and him talking about how what he did, how he got into the security, and what he saw and what he was told about the evacuation of London, and how there's troops already getting ready to implement this. There's troops already to evacuate people. So I'm going to play you the clip now.
Wanted to do an expose on G4S. I'd heard a lot of horror stories, and I was looking for an opportunity to basically go and work for them and see what they were like, and see if these horror stories were true, because you never can really believe what other people say. You have to go and look it on the internet and join these organisations and actually find out. So when the Olympics came up, it was a perfect opportunity to go and see exactly what their working practices were like, and see, what this organisation was about. And really, I got there, and it was a catalogue of disasters. The X-ray machine operators didn't know what they were looking at. They said they were going to turn off the metal detectors in peak times. I was asked to take a knife through a metal detector that didn't go off, and they said, add more metal to your body, like the keys or a mobile phone, which I did, and then it went off. So really, they're not very sensitive, and as far as I'm concerned, the key job of the metal detector is to pick up metal, and they weren't. They told us about an evacuation of London, that if this was to happen, that we would be responsible for looking after the members of the public. They talked about 200,000 casket linings. When I asked them what's a casket lining, they said, it's like a plastic coffin that fits 4 people.